Hey guys, Luke Bowman back here again with Hot Topic Accounting Podcast. If you guys tuned in to our last podcast, I had a special guest on, Spencer Ford. We talked about traditional IRAs versus Roth IRAs, why a Roth might be more beneficial than a traditional. There are multiple options of what you can do for your retirement income and how to manage that money. But as Spencer said, what he does with his own dollars, and this is coming from a certified financial planner, is he shoves all of it in the Roth that he can. So something that he did bring up towards the end, if you guys want to go back and listen to it, is for some of those high earners or people that aren't eligible to pay directly into a Roth IRA, what we can do is first put the money into a traditional IRA, which is where the tax is deferred. You're going to pay the tax down the road when we pull the money out. What we'll do is we'll put that money into the traditional IRA, and then we'll do something called a ROTH conversion. So you guys understand, I actually just pulled up a dictionary description of what conversion is, and word for word, it is the process of changing or causing something to change from one form to another. So think of a Roth IRA over here in my left hand, a traditional IRA over here in my right hand. So what happens is we're putting money into my right hand, which is that traditional IRA. It's getting bigger and bigger, it's growing. Then what we can do is we're going to convert this money or change its form from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. So what happens when we do that is we're going to have to pay the tax. Remember, when we put the money into the traditional IRA, it's going to grow tax deferred, and we have to pay the tax when we pull the money out, right? So when we're converting from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, we are technically pulling the money out as quote unquote income. Okay, so we are going to have to pay tax right now. Again, going back to what Spencer said on our last podcast, tax rates right now are at a historical low, and we don't expect them to last long. At the longest, they'll be here through 2025. So with having historically low tax rates, why not take advantage of these tax rates now instead of continue to pay into a traditional IRA and defer that income down the road and pay at a higher tax rate, right? So there's three ways we can convert. I'll go over all three of them with you guys real quick. If you guys have any questions on any of these, they're going to be brief descriptions, so please give me a call and I'll go ahead and fill all you guys in on this. So one of them is just a traditional rollover. You have 60 days to take the money out of your traditional IRA and put it into another Roth IRA with there to be no penalty on that. So you will have to pay the tax. Again, you're going to have to pay the tax in all these situations, but there would be no penalty if you handled it that way. The two easier ways to handle your Roth conversions would be a trustee-to-trustee transfer, which is where you have the financial institution that is housing your retirement, whether that be like a Fidelity, any of those companies there, would be sending it to another company. So that would just be a trustee-to-trustee. The financial institutions take care of that for you, so there's really nothing that's going to be on your plate. And then the last one, same trustee transfer. Let's say you have a traditional IRA with Fidelity and we're going to roll it over to a Roth, but we're going to keep it with Fidelity. So that's just going to be the same trustee transfer. It's going to stay within the same financial institution, but the money is just going to be rolled over to Roth, and then you will consequently pay the tax on that. I'm sure you guys have heard me say plenty of times now, why would I pay the tax? Why are you keep telling me that we're going to have to pay the tax now? Again, like Spencer said, tax rates are at historical lows. So we do want to pay the tax when we know that tax rates are as low as possible. So that's one reason why we would want to pay the tax now versus down the road, and why maybe doing a Roth conversion is going to be in your best interest. Another thing that people don't realize are RMDs. So what that stands for is required minimum distribution. Traditional IRAs, I don't know for a fact what percentage you have to withdraw, but a required minimum distribution, you have to withdraw a portion of your account on a yearly basis once you turn 72. Now that just changed with the CARES Act this year. It used to be 70 and a half. It is now 72. Good news for a lot of people that are that age. With COVID and coronavirus going on, you aren't required to take the RMDs in 2020. We'll see how it plays out for 2021, but typically that's required every year, okay? If you have your money in a Roth IRA, there is no required minimum distribution. So that's income that you can take if you need it, and it's tax-free, and if you don't need it, you can continue to let it sit in that account and grow. That's going to be a huge benefit for people that do not need their RMDs. And again, as I just said, whenever you take a withdrawal, it's tax-free. So we're not paying tax on your income in retirement when your tax rates are at their lowest. And if you don't need the money in the situation of RMD, the money stays in the account, continues to grow tax-free. So only benefits from Roth IRAs. If you guys have more questions about Roth IRAs and why conversion would make more sense for you, give us a call. You can reach us at 513-367-5566. And Concerned Financial Solutions is our sister company. You guys are definitely going to want to get in touch with them. Their phone number is 513-367-1113. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Hot Topic Accounting. I know we're kind of on the financial planning side of things, and we're going to tie it back around coming into tax season, what you guys need to get ready. So tune in for our next one here at Hot Topic Accounting.